Hey guys, SpiderDevice here, and I am back with a vengeance. I do think that my absence does warrant an explanation, and the short version is that I got a job. And it's taken me some time to actually be able to adjust everything in my life to accommodate school, work, and everything else. But nevertheless, I have made a bit of progress on the shooter, and I also have something else I'd like to show you today that I'm pretty psyched about. So when it comes to the shooter, I was planning on making Project Update 5 about the WDM 3.0 that I've been working on for some time. In fact, I got the piston from Shapeways a couple of months ago. And here comes the bad news. When I tried the piston, I realized that the whole WDM 3.0 concept wouldn't work. And there is a very good reason for this. And it is a reason that I somewhat ignored when I started building and designing the WDM 3.0, though it is something I was fully aware of. It was just something I chose to ignore. You see, there is a simple concept regarding pressure when applied within a container. Ignoring small variances and errors, when pressure is applied inside a container, it's going to try and distribute equally to all the surfaces in the container. Now, once this is fully realized, any container, given the assumption that enough pressure can be applied within without the vessel bursting, will stretch into an ovoid shape. This usually means that, given a strong enough floor and ceiling to the container, it will stretch into a cylinder. Now, I realized this, but once again chose to ignore it when I was using my flask-derived pressure vessel for WDM 3.0. This just ended up creating a cycle in which I would put the piston in, which would stretch the walls of the vessel outward, causing me to enlarge the piston, which would stretch the walls of the vessel more, which would cause me to enlarge the piston again, etc., etc. This is basically because the vessel was trying to stretch into an ovoid shape. I realized that this whole thing was really going to be incompatible with the design I was going for, so I did the smart thing and decided to scrap WDM 3.0 completely. Now, if you think this is going to set me back a long time, rest assured it won't. This wouldn't be the first time I've had to scrap a concept completely and start over from scratch. In fact, the shooter you've seen in my previous videos is the designation WDM 2.6, which was created because the WDM 1.0 simply wasn't plausible in reality, and the form factors of the WDM 2.0 didn't function as intended. So, I've already actually begun using what I've learned from the failure of the WDM 3.0 to incorporate new concepts and the old to build WDM 4.0. This is going to utilize the piston concept from the 3.0, but it's now going to incorporate cylindrical pressure vessels. And yes, I do say vessels, plural. Think of the Ben Reilly Scarlet Spider shooters and you'll get what I'm thinking of aesthetically. And rest assured, more updates about this new shooter are soon to come, as well as more Web Talks episodes in the meantime, and more updates regarding circuits, and once again one of the things I'm about to show you and talk to you about. Now, one thing I'd like to address is the fact that around the time of the last video being uploaded, this channel had around 500 subscribers. Now this channel has surpassed 800, and for that I would like to thank you all for supporting me through all this and being interested in this whole project. Now, once again, I will be building the new WDM 4.0 shooter in the coming weeks. It really isn't that different from the WDM 3.0 as far as the core design goes, so it should go fairly smoothly. However, with the amount of subscribers here, I wanted to do something to kind of commemorate that. And as such, I have designed and built an all-new double tap circuit. Now, I won't actually go over how it works completely right now, mostly because the actual point of making this circuit was to not use my own personal shooter because I have the microcontroller circuit, but this was mostly to make a tutorial on how to build it, because this doesn't require an obscure bootloader for an almost out-of-date microcontroller, nor does it require any programming experience. This is all stuff that I bought at Fry's Electronics for less than $20. Not including the breadboard. The breadboard's probably going to add another 10 to 15. So all of this stuff is pretty cheap, and then I just got a 9-volt battery to power it. Now this is the all-new double tap circuit, and I did build a circuit, or at least I designed one, kind of like this some time ago, but it was on the Real Web Tech site, which I'll get to that later. But here's the schematic for the circuit here. It took me probably an hour to design. It was fairly easy actually, but it did take me a while to build because I actually drew the schematic wrong after I built it the first time. So that did take a while to actually figure out and troubleshoot, but eventually I did get it working. So I'm once again not really going to go over the basic workings of it right now, but just the only thing you really need to know right now is that it works exactly like my microcontroller circuit, except for one thing, and I'll show you that right now. So how it works is that basically you can do one of two things. You can press and hold, or you can hold for as long as you want, then pick up and press again. The only real parameter that's being controlled here is the time between presses. But if you do happen to press really quickly, that is also controlled by a first 555 timer. So the only real difference between this and my microcontroller circuit is that when you actually plug in the battery, you'll be able to see that the LEDs turn on for just an instant, and that doesn't happen with the microcontroller circuit. And this LED right here is actually the final output, which would be your solenoid or whatever, so it might activate momentarily right after you plug in the battery, just for a fraction of a second, and that can easily be remedied by just adding a switch to the final output, but it is something worth mentioning. So let me just show you both of the various states. This is the first output, which basically shows when you've pressed the button the first time. This right here shows when you've released the button. This one shows when you've pressed the button the second time, and then this is the final output. This is only true while you're holding the button for the second time, and the amount of time between the two taps has been within the time parameter of this here. So let me just press it once here, get it in focus. Let me get it in focus here. There we go. So if I just press it once, you can see that the first one is activated instantly when I press the button, and then the second one here is controlled when I release the button. But if I press it twice and hold, you can see that the final output is true. Or if I hold, then lift and hold, there we go. Final output is true. But if I press, or if I hold, release, and then press, or if I press and then press, the final output is staying off. So once again, it just works exactly like the previous circuit that I built, but please, right now, let me know in the comments, if you can, if you would like to see how to build this, because I've actually kind of let up on my sort of taboo on tutorials, because I've seen The Amazing, and to some extent The Spectacular as well, do some tutorials, and to my knowledge, nobody has yet jumped off a building and died as a result. So more or less, I'm more confident in doing tutorials now, especially for something as simple as this. Then I'll probably evolve into more things like making a pressure vessel and stuff like that. So if you do want to see how to make this circuit right here, let me know in the comments. If you've got any other ideas for tutorials, let me know in the comments. So as I said earlier, I also want to mention one more thing in this video. As I mentioned earlier, I did say something about Real Web Tech, and if you don't know what that is, it's a site that we from the Superhero Hype Forum have been using to chronicle our progress, show pictures, blog posts, and things like that. And it was maintained by a member of the community called Iron Spider. The problem is he hasn't been around for a couple of years. So at this point, he hasn't really been maintaining the site, and as a result, the host service has actually frozen the site. And I don't really expect him to be coming back anytime soon, if I'm being real here. So while there is a backup site, on the free Google Sites service. It doesn't have all the content that we posted after the initial creation of the site. So I did actually create a new site that can be used specifically for this and has all the community functions and everything like that. But we will be starting afresh. And this is the new site right here. It's just my YouTube channel name, SpiderDevice, at .webs.com. So just SpiderDevice.webs.com. And there's a link to this in the description. So we've just got a regular banner here, picture of Spider-Man, description of the site. Then the newest web shooter videos, there's my newest video as well as the newest videos from The Amazing, yes he is back, and The Spectacular is another channel that has been collaborating with The Amazing that makes some really good videos. So definitely check both of these channels out, they're both in the description as well. So then there's also the Legacy tab here that just has all of the stuff from the backup site of Real Web Tech. That includes how-tos on how to choose a valve, make a pressure vessel, make a basic shooter, as well as theory about chemistry and mechanical stuff, and swinging even, and all of that. Then I've just got blog posts that are just site updates. Then any community members can post photos, you just have to sign in first. And then also we have a forum, which has the getting started, hardware, formula, and final products pages. And once again, this is a community function. Anybody that has a webs account can sign up. And of course, post here. So, once again, the link to this will be in the description. Let me know if there's any improvements that I can make to the site, and if it is something that you are actually interested in and will use. And with that, once again, just go ahead and let me know about the site and about the tutorial for this circuit and future tutorials in the comments. And as always, just let me know if there's any Real Web Techs topics that you want to see. Not Real Web Tech, any Web Talks topics that you want to see. And that's really it for this video. I will see you next time. SpiderDevice out.